So let's circle back to the biggest decision I made that landed me my dream life, but also on the brink of losing everything I worked so hard for. Now let's finish this up with the last room of the tour, my office. Back to bright. I put in can lights in this room. This is the only room that has these bright daylight bulbs. I don't like the bright white bulbs. I normally go soft white, but in here I wanted to have the really clean, bright white for looking at samples. But yeah, so I put in these industrial pipe shelves. I ordered the wood from Etsy, and I put together these just industrial pipes. Kept it really low cost in here. It's a cacti theme because I went to school in Arizona State. So yeah, this is my office. Again, the industrial pipes were over here. I needed lots of storage for samples and whatnot. Then I got like this little reading nook over here that pretty much just is for the cats. I like never use it, but sometimes it's nice to put on shoes because this is my back door, or my car is parked out back. And so that's convenient. I got my little coat rack. Again, the little cacti up there, succulents. So I put this in. So again, this door was just a flush door. I painted it black so that it matched more of the frame of the mirror and, the industrial pipes, and up there, I would love to get like a really pretty stained glass transom window, but, yeah, not priority. So I just painted that black, and it just kind of goes with the door. But yeah, cactus, cat tree. So this is where samples used to be. I couldn't get rid of them. They're just now all packed away under my bed right now because I have so many ideas of new things that I want to do, like make candles. And I got these crystals. I designed a whole candle line and room spray and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. So I've got my candle maker and all my herbs and flowers and supplies. Yeah. And then this is a picture I drew of my dad, sister, and I. This is me, my sister, obviously my dad. I probably drew that when I was, I don't know, like I was really young. Like I was maybe like 8 years old when I drew that. I don't think I can draw that good anymore. I totally lost my hand. But yeah. And I love this book, Aura. I love her artwork. She's got some really cool stuff. So there is my office. Yeah. This was my vision board from last year. I need to add 2024 because, some stuff, really big dreams take longer to manifest. But I love this quote. I've been absolutely terrified every moment of my life, and I've never let it keep me from doing a single thing I wanted to. Georgia O'Keeffe. And this is pretty much why I hate to be in the office, because I fucking hate paperwork. So I have this, this has been stacked up here for longer than I'd like to admit. This is like the last thing that I have to do to go through and finish organizing, and my life will be completely in order and amazing. So let's dim these lights again. We'll set this back up. I'll sit in the chair and I'll finish my story. So even when I was employed, I worked mostly from home. So having a home office was important. But I also took on side projects for my personal interior design company I started when I was 24. And I don't know if you know this, but the profession of interior design comes along with a shitload of material samples. Fabrics, wallpaper, tile, carpet, catalogs, you name it. So yes, I needed to find a home with at least 2-bed plus den in the city of Chicago that I could actually afford. I got very lucky, didn't I? So what did you think? Do you love it? I mean, obviously not as much as me. So let's circle back to the biggest decision I made that landed me my dream life, but also on the brink of losing everything I worked so hard for. When I learned about what it means to have my part of fortune in Aries in the 6th house, and that I'm a manifestor in human design, Uranus opposing my Jupiter, oh, and 1st house Pluto, it's not an exaggeration when I say that it's actually quite torturous to me to be told what to do. I mean, being a Libra rising with Aries on my descendant with my part of fortune, having my sun being part of a 5-planet Capricorn stellium, plus my IC angle, having the expansive Jupiter in the sign of Cancer with my MC, these are all cardinal energy, the modality of leadership. Plus that Leo moon, I mean, I really don't feel like it's even an option for me to be anything other than a trophy wife or an entrepreneur. Well, when I realized I was in job 4, my 5th year post-graduation, and completely sick of hearing myself constantly complaining about every boss I've had, at some point you have to think, maybe I'm the problem. Now, it may have taken another 5 years of playing pawn in the mind games my narcissistic boss enjoyed, but my Pluto in the 1st house really came in handy for me there. Boy, did Antihero hit the nail on the head for me with that one. Remember when I mentioned the potential for power struggles? Yeah. So I started the series off with my 1st house placements, and I want to circle back to it because I truly believe it is the reason for why I've experienced this kind of treatment, specifically in the workplace, and how it guided me to my 2nd spiritual awakening. I say 2nd because my dad's death started it, but as well as what prepared me for my 29th degree midheaven culmination, and what some would consider crisis. So I'd like to share a few details on 2 different instances in my career that will demonstrate not only an example for all that I've already shared, but also the key to my future success and why I have been able to trust this very uncomfortable process of transformation. I hope I've been able to communicate and showcase to you how important personal growth is to me, as well as how much I care about the work that I do and the desire for recognition of that work. Now, I also shared why it's difficult for me to build relationships and have a social network, which I associate as being my biggest dilemma, holding me back from success in life, and inability to find clients to actually do the work that I know I could truly be appreciated for. So let me take you back to really how it all began. I was 24 and a little over a year post-graduation when I was working part-time as an assistant for a designer. It was just her and I. This was my first job out of college, and like I mentioned before, interior design has always come just naturally to me, which is why I've been very confident in my design talent even before much experience. So with that said, I was eager to take on projects from the small network I did have, but only if they showed interest in hiring me. And of course, I craved the ability to take ownership of my work, to test my capabilities and confidence, and get that level of recognition. So I decided to open up my first business, which at the time I named Interior Intuition. Now, despite only being a part-time employee with no intention of stealing my boss's clients or even marketing myself to the public, after she found out, she fired me. And it was a week before Christmas. I feel like my entire life, people have seen me as a threat, when all I have wanted to do was be as helpful as I possibly could and achieve my personal best. I did get really fortunate with being awarded a large project shortly after that, which was enough to financially sustain myself for a short period of time. However, because of my lack of networking skills and marketing resources, I knew that I needed to supplement my business aspirations with a more consistent paycheck. So then fast forward 3 years later, and I found myself employed at a company which seemed like the ideal situation for me. Another small design company with flexible hours. My boss at the time was going through a lot in her personal life, so I took the opportunity to step into the heightened responsibility that she granted me because of it. I felt like I could finally work with the clientele of my dreams and have the freedom to showcase my talent and explore my creativity. However, I felt like I had to keep it a secret and give my boss the credit for my work. I wasn't getting the recognition that I deserved or desired, but I was getting to do what I loved and grow as a designer. So it didn't really matter. After all, it was her company and her clients, and without her, I wouldn't even have those opportunities. So I was very grateful, and I poured myself into my projects because it's what I love to do. But from the beginning, I sensed I was not safe to fully be myself, nor was I ever going to have job security. There was a delicate balance that was required of me to pursue my desires for personal growth while also protecting my boss's ego. I did not know consciously what narcissism was when I began working with her. She taught me what it was by sharing her experiences of having a narcissistic mother growing up and a narcissistic ex-husband. I recognized from the very beginning these sort of mind games that she would play with me. And she put me in positions that were really uncomfortable in regards to discussing personality traits and work performances of my colleagues. But it felt like gossipy. She would complain to me about other people, struggling with things that I myself struggled with, having ADHD, which she knew about because I shared my diagnosis with her from the very beginning. Because not only was she very open about her daughters having it, but I felt incredibly insecure and burdened by it. So I didn't want the added weight of keeping it a secret. I also wasn't really sure how to handle it, seeing how it was earlier that same year when I was actually finally diagnosed at the age 27. But early on, she demonstrated that she had a small tolerance for constructive feedback, as well as when she felt others were falling short of absurdly high expectations. I didn't have the prior experience to know that what I was noticing was not normal, but I sensed the toxicity. So I filtered myself carefully to be the person that she wanted me to be so that I could protect myself and so I wouldn't lose my job and I could continue to be given opportunities to manage projects with the degree of creative freedom and autonomy that I desired. My Libra rising and overdeveloped empathy from late diagnosed ADHD helped me do that so well, so I thought. She knew exactly what I needed, just enough to scratch the itch, and took full advantage of my passion, genuine care for success, and my empathy. But she had a strong facade, Cancer sun and rising. Came across as the iconic, caring, and compassionate motherly type. Hell, she had me gaslighting myself. But deep down, I just knew her true nature. And I actively chose to play along in her mind games for 5 whole years. I knew what I was doing was unsustainable and was quickly running out of time before complete burnout. That was in 2022, which is when I began getting obsessed with watching YouTube tarot. Just desperate for change. I heard repeatedly, this reading is for Capricorn sun, moon, or rising, which after enough times sparked my interest in astrology. And all these pieces of me started putting me back together and showing me the picture of my deepest and truest self. I saw the answer I needed to see and began my journey of Stella Sage. This time, I kept it a secret until I was ready to market and had a financial backup plan prepared for the fallout I knew in my gut would happen as soon as I told her of my aspirations, which I even went as far to keep my conscience clear by telling her only weeks prior to receiving my yearly bonus. God, my first house, Pluto, is fucking powerful. I was right. She fired me. Again, only a few weeks before Christmas. And of course, no bonus. And on top of that, she lied to unemployment, so my application got rejected. She had a way of surfacing all of my deepest insecurities, questioning my contribution not only as an employee, but also as a wife. I almost lost all trust in myself and self-care. During those years, I lost my marriage, my dog, the person I thought would become my ideal partner, my job, and almost my life. So sorry, my phone died, but now I got Lacey. Yeah, got Lacey face. We'll see if she stays. And then I got this because I told you at the beginning that there was a story about this. You know, I really didn't think of it at the time, but here goes Daisy. You know, I didn't really even think this at the time, but I had this wallpaper pinned up on my vision board and was just looking at it after everything went down, and it hit me. You know, I raved about how obsessed I was with this wallpaper and how I wanted to use it in my foyer. And you know what my boss did? Just that. When I wasn't at a client's or working from my own home, I worked out of her house and walked through that area every time I entered and left. What do you think? Was she trying to rub it in? Or am I just being paranoid? But you know, I don't even really care what she did to me. It's like so obviously karmic. I mean, she's a Cancer sun and rising with an Aries moon in her 10th house. So put all the pieces together. This was planned to happen. I 100% believe we both agreed to it before we came into this lifetime. She cleared my schedule so that I could actually do what I was meant to. Now, just because I hate having a boss doesn't mean I'm a bad employee. Quite the opposite. Remember, I'm a Libra rising people pleaser and literally love the work that I do. I did my best with the resources I had available. And looking back and now seeing everything I was able to create, I think I did a damn good job. And I didn't sell my soul along the way. I can honestly say the spiritual wisdom I learned all while living here is what made me decide to start Stella Sage. And despite losing my job because of it and making zero profit the first year, I just could no longer resist waiting anymore to start my channel. YouTube is what I need to give myself permission to be selfish. I personally need everything that I share for myself. And this is my way to hold myself accountable and feel altruistic at the same time. If I boil down my values into one sentence, I would say I strive for maximum potential in the most efficient way all of the time. Now, whether that's actually what happens is another story, but it's always my intention. So I'm basically trying to compound my own self-care needs so that others can benefit as well. I try to lay the foundation for Stella Sage to be profitable from the start without relying on anyone else. I'm following the cues of my part of fortune in Aries, which I believe holds the key to my future fortune. Not only is Chiron and the North Node currently transiting through Aries and about to come into a conjunction, this sign is also on my descendant and the resolution point to 2 T-squares I have in my chart, both with my Libra ascendant and 29-degree Cancer MC, and with my Capricorn Sun and my chart ruler Venus in Aquarius. Aries falls into my 6th house, and the 6th house in astrology governs various aspects of daily life, health, work, routines, service, and how we approach responsibilities. The part of fortune is a calculated point in astrology determined by the positions of the sun, moon, and ascendant or rising sign in a natal chart that is associated with happiness, well-being, and overall fortune. The part of fortune in Aries in the 6th house suggests that your greatest source of joy and fulfillment comes from taking action, asserting yourself, and pursuing your goals in the realm of daily routines, health, and work. Aries energy infuses your approach to these areas of life with enthusiasm, courage, and initiative. This placement indicates you find fulfillment when you actively engage in tasks and projects. You thrive in environments when you can take the lead, initiate new endeavors, and tackle challenges head on. With Aries energy influencing your part of fortune, you're likely to value independence and freedom. You prefer to do things your own way and may feel happiest when you have the autonomy to make decisions and pursue your objectives independently. Aries is a sign associated with energy, vitality, and physicality. Your well-being and sense of fulfillment may be closely tied to maintaining good health and staying physically active. Engaging in regular exercise and taking care of your body can contribute to your overall happiness. You may find fulfillment through acts of courage and bravery in your daily life. Whether it's standing up for yourself or advocating for others or taking risks in your work or health pursuits, you thrive when you embrace your inner warrior spirit. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac associated with beginnings and fresh starts. Part of fortune in Aries may indicate that you find joy in initiating new projects, routines, or habits that bring positive changes to your daily life. Overall, having the part of fortune in Aries in the 6th house suggests that your path to fulfillment involves embracing your assertiveness, taking charge of your daily affairs, and pursuing activities that allow you to express your individuality and vitality. By tapping into your inner strength and courage, you can find greater happiness and satisfaction in your day-to-day experiences. That, combined with my soul's lessons suggested by Pluto squaring my nodes of fate, I'm attempting to resolve my South Node Leo skip step by using my creativity to lead by example, Leo, nurturing an audience by teaching spiritual wisdom, 9th house, Cancer MC, through social media and e-commerce, ruler of the South Node, my Capricorn Sun in the 3rd house, by studying occult knowledge, all in the pursuit of self-development, Pluto in the 1st house, to then also serve others by sharing my self-care routine, yoga, Reiki, and astrology, part of fortune in Aries, then maybe eventually this endeavor will help humanity, all from my home. North Node in Aquarius in the 4th house. Now, can you see it all too? See, astrology and human design have been able to confirm for me everything I always knew deep down to be true about myself, but was trained in a way that made me feel like I was wrong for it or didn't deserve it. You know what? Now I say, fuck that. We all plan to be someone in this lifetime for a reason. Humanity desperately needs more people to do the inner work and find their deeper truths, because it's all for a purpose. It's not about inflating your ego or comparing yourself to others. It's about taking responsibility for who you were really meant to be before anyone told you otherwise. But I'm not going to tell you it's easy or comfortable to do, because it's not. And anyone who tells you it should be does not have your best interest at heart. Growth is uncomfortable. But I believe in you. I believe every person that makes up humanity is at their core strong, compassionate, loving, and moral. Circumstances inflict the alternative, but when you remember who you are and the deeper reason for why those things are, you automatically find yourself back in the driver's seat. The question becomes, do you want that responsibility? It's not about knowing what you're meant to do. Once you're being, then you'll know what to do day by day. I don't know how else to explain it, but there's a trust that comes easier when you sense the deeper truth and can see the reasons behind everything. It's not the what as much as the why. Figure out what whys are most valuable to you and live in alignment day by day, making decisions accordingly. I can't prove to you it'll all play out according to plan, because it hasn't happened for me yet. But these synchronicities are far too obvious to be coincidence. I don't know how, but I know somehow it'll all work out. I just know I am being who I am meant to be. And I made the choice to surrender to the ride. So if you're interested in supporting my mission, please start by engaging with my channel. And if you or you know of anyone who has seen enough to believe in me, I could really use an angel investor to help me afford the resources I need to hire a team that can help me take my vision to the next level. But please know that having gotten your attention has fed my soul. So thank you for watching. But now it's time you get out of my house, because the sun is coming up now. So I'll let you out the back porch so I can show you that. It's really dirty right now because we're in the middle of winter, but it's also really cute, so I want to show it to you. So I just have this bench against the window, this little bistro table and chairs with a rug and some lanterns. That's my condo. So until next time, shine bright, Star Siblings.